Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the podcast. I am, as ever, regular EV Dad, also known as John. And with me, because it must be a Tuesday, is Joe. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm not surviving, mate. I look as bad. I tell you, work is not a hobby. It's a tough week. It's a tough week. It's been a tough couple of weeks. How about yourself?
Tax season's in full flight right now, so yeah.
Yeah, because unfortunately, the problem with middle age is we have bills to pay for, so we have to work. It's a tough time of year. It really is. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The whinging and the moaning will take place in the pub afterwards. It is, as ever, a roundup of the things we found interesting in all that is EVs, and what's going on with the situation. What do you want to do first? You want to talk about what we see in the world, or you want to talk about what we're up to and the content we're doing?
Yeah, we can do a quick overview of what we're up to at this point. That's fine. Go ahead.
After you then, sir. What are you up to?
Well, I'm just over 20,000 miles with my ID, so it's been time to make a 20,000-mile review. I had aspirations to make a 10,000-mile review. That never happened, but I'm going to make sure I do this one.
How are your tires?
New.
You got new tires. Okay.
Yeah.
How were they when you got to 20,000?
They had probably, I don't know, I probably could have squeaked out an extra 5,000, but I had gotten a flat. And so it just kind of made sense to just go ahead and replace the whole batch at that point. Yeah, just discount tire didn't want to do a plug since they were so low to begin with, and winter's in full season right here, so they weren't that pleasant to drive on before. Now the new ones are great.
No, that is my one gripe with the EV. It's so heavy. These tires just are not up to, and these tires are designed for this vehicles. These were OEM spec tires designed for EVs, but I don't know. It still troubles me only getting 25,000 miles out of a tire.
I wonder if the lack of rotation. I thought, if I remember right, doesn't rotating tires usually extend their life? So with these, we can't because of the staggered size.
That's part of it. The other part is the driving. The only reason for the main reason for rotation is because of rear wheel bias, i.e. the driving tires will tend to wear out based on weight distribution in the vehicle and the placement of the axle. With the EVs, though, rotation's an issue, but especially for ours because we got the staggered tires. Yes. Martian, where are you on that, by the way? Martian, we saw you in Pasadena. You said you might be doing something. Well, come on, what's going on? He said he might do something with spacers so that they could be destaggered. We will see. But yeah, no, I think the issue is they die so quickly. I mean, my father-in-law puts 60,000. I think the warranty on his Michelins for the minivan is like 60,000. So anyway,
yeah, our Kia Niro made it 55,000 on the standard stock Michelins that were on that car as well. I do agree that another thing that takes a big effect is I drive in B mode all the time, so I'm either always accelerating or decelerating, so the tires are never in a coasting state for the most part.
No. Anything else going on? So you're going to do a 20,000 mile review. Anything else going on?
Still slowly trickling out those all the videos we shot in Pasadena. It was quite a bit of content, so yeah. It's been nice.
I'm interviewing somebody tonight, so hopefully the irony is I'm hiring a content producer that will give me more time to produce content, but that's not EV related, that's security world. What am I up to? Well, so it's not this week, next week I think it is. So me and the missus will actually take a road trip it's gonna be 3 weeks from now. So Mrs. Garside Mrs. Regular EV wants to go to a conference in Pasadena at the weekend, and so we said, well, we will go down as a family. We'll drive down, and she's not against it. At this point, she's not against it. I have no doubt that at some point she will flag up her wish to use the the minivan instead, my father-in-law's minivan, but hopefully we will take the ID4. It's got more than enough room for 3 adults and a kiddo in a car seat and all their luggage. So hopefully the low cost of fuel, because we still have $5 gas, will appeal to a better nature. I've looked at, naturally, I did a quick look at a better route planner, and only needs 2 20-minute and change stops. It will be interesting to see how she responds to that, because for her, they would be what you call early stops. So on the way down, I know it won't be an issue because we're going to leave early in the morning, and there's a really good coffee place in Paso Robles, which I found on my trip when I went down to that way. So I know I won't have a problem with that stop, but then we're going to have to stop again about an hour and 15 minutes or so later for a 25-30-minute stop. So we will see how that's going to be the problematic one, because Raju Countryside Shell is not a paradise.
Does that coincide with lunchtime or not at that by that time?
No, we're early people. We'll probably be, if I know my wife, we'll be out the door by 5 a.m. We're going to pick up we have to go down 101 to Paso because we have to pick the extra person up in Prunedale. So we'll go down 101, hit Paso Robles, and then go cross country to 5. So we'll see, but we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting if nothing else. Other than that, yeah, the car just needs to get a damn good wash right now. Actually, that's what it really needs. Maybe that'll happen this weekend. All right,
I just did mine over the weekend, inside and out.
Ooh, and inside and out. Well, that's quite the flex. That's a man with time on his hands. That's a man with time. It's been a quiet week for EV news. It has to be said. There's been interesting things, but not a lot of things. Shall we? It goes without saying, there's been absolutely no word on an ID4 software update at this point.
Nope, just more bragging about the plug-in charge and 135 kilowatt charging on the 2022. I see that trickle across, but nothing about us.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that 135 is going to be the standard, and we'll get 175 as an option in their app store. I don't know. There's still questions about that one, but we will see. We will see. Let's stick on keep on Volkswagen. The ID Buzz was seen in the wild.
I'm really looking forward to those. That just appeals to me more than the ID4, just from a perspective of the camping idea of being able to outfit it as the ultimate road tripping machine.
To be honest with you, I like it a lot. I love it. I'm like, And the one that they've shown is actually the regular wheelbase. We're not going to get that in America. We're only going to get a longer wheelbase version.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that the last time, that Volkswagen's going to be very picky with what they send us, but I know Ford's working with them to do a Transit Connect variant, so I'm not sure.
No, it says in the thing, we're going to get a longer one, which will also have an option, a 6-stroke 7-seat option. So I'm looking forward to that. And I did say, and I actually showed it to Mrs. Rigger EV, and can't believe I'm saying this, Joe. She said, yes. I said, the day it is ready for announcement, I said, I'll put an order in. I said, but I will trade in the ID4. And she said, why? I was like, what? So it would appear that whilst I'm not really wanting a minivan, I do just like the size of that thing and the utility of it. And we all know the ID4 rides pretty well. I expect this to ride the same. My only question is, they're going to have to do something with the batteries on it. I don't know if 82 kilowatt batteries is going to be enough with a longer wheelbase and the increased drag to get 250 miles of real world range.
Yeah, I thought there is going to be a bigger pack. I forget where. I feel like I've stumbled across this somewhere. I think we've
seen the same thing.
Yeah.
I guess we'll learn more. The announcement is that the actual formal announcement is going to take place in March, so early part of March, so not long to wait now. But no, I that I do see that as being our next family vehicle. And if my wife's been quite clear that she's back in work, she does quite well as a self-employed person, but she will get rid of the Volvo at that point. So we will, that would be interesting. It's interesting. She's now done away from like needing to have a gas car mentally. She's not sure about doing the long road trip in the electric car, but she's willing to accept that 99 times out of 10, we don't need it.
That's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, my wife does not like dealing with the charging when we are on a road trip. But for around town, she is completely sold on ditching the Kia Niro and getting something this year to replace it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, lots to like about the ID Buzz. We'll see where that goes. I still like the long roof that they showed, but I have my doubts about that making the US market in any timely fashion. So
yeah, I've seen so far everything I've seen on Spy Shots. It's varied from the original concept in a few key ways that hurt me a little bit. But
I do love me a long roof.
Yeah. I also would have loved if they went with the retro emblem of that giant chrome VW on the front. Would have been cool.
I hear you. You want to talk about Teslas or EV6s?
Tesla, that actually is for me, that could be one of the biggest good news is in my opinion, just because the fact that they're expanding their testing into more countries with this supercharging means it's something that they're must have received positive feedback about, I guess.
So what we're talking about is the fact. So a little while ago, Tesla started allowing non-Tesla cars with CCS connectors it was in Europe. So you could download the Tesla app and charge your CCS vehicle at superchargers in, I think it was like 10, 15 sites in Holland. And they've now expanded it to more sites in Norway and France. So yeah, it's interesting. It shows a cultural acceptance and a pivot. I can't imagine, and I suppose there could be a supercharger to CCS adapter happens in this country, but I don't know if and when that's likely.
You never know. I mean, if Tesla puts the high enough price tag on it that they can make money off selling a bunch of those adapters, I could see that being their business model on that too.
I also see that they can, because of the battery systems in the chargers, they can also play a bit of arbitrage to make money as well on energy supply. So it's all to play for, which kind of brings us to the second point, which is they've done some updates in the app. And so you can now see when the car's charging, how it's charging, looking at the efficiency, going beyond time of use. The only reason I mention that is I've had that for years, nothing to do with the car. I have a juice box which is connected to the JuiceNet program and PG&E. And so I tell Juicebox, I've just plugged in whichever car it is. It's got this percentage of battery, where to charge it up to and what time I need, and it takes care of it. And I don't have to do anything, but it's good to see Tesla getting involved in that. It really is. I think this is just, they've hired out the capability, they've got the people, so now they can deliver the capability, as opposed to tell people they're going to do this and then have to struggle to hire the people to execute. They're doing it the right way, it has to be said. Well, if you're going to take Tesla first, then I guess that brings up the EV6, and you are ahead of me on this one because I've just been 2 heads down and lacking in sleep. EV6 reviews are hitting YouTube and in the press. What do people got to say about it?
So everyone is unanimous that the exterior of the car, the Ioniq, is the one to buy. But surprisingly, everyone is unanimous that from the inside of the car, the EV6 is the one to buy. The EV6 is much more sporty, not too sporty like the Mach-E is, but just like that nice balance between a little bit firmer than the ID4, with like the right amount of Euro suspension, I should say. And then also just the materials inside really seem to be, I don't know, it's a borderline luxury car, I would argue.
Good value, good value.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting to see. It really is, and I wish them luck. I think this could be this is one that really does challenge Tesla and the Model Y. You know, right in that sweet spot between the Y and the 3. Good price point. It's got the rebate
And the charging.
Yeah, the 800-volt system. Absolutely. This will be good. This will be interesting to see. We'll see where this goes. It's good to see. It really is. Which kind of brings us to our last thing, and a bit of a downer, but I think actually worthy of a celebration. The end of the BMW i3. It's done. They're ceasing manufacturing. You know? I speak as someone who had one for 3.5 years. I had the 94 amp hour version. I put a good number of miles on that thing. I did my first EV road trip, albeit ironically only to Paso Robles, which required a charge, but John, get some sleep. I will. I'll try. I'm sorry. I'm really. It's been, and it's not going to. This week's not going to stop. I've got a whole week of this brutality and trying to raise a kid, and I'm not even running out to do comedy shows late at night these days. It's crazy. No, I'm gonna. Did you ever drive one, Joe?
I didn't. There was a couple times we started when we were considering them for an EV purchase. Just the problem was the sticker shock always kind of steered us away. There's just so many other cars out there. You know, it became a problem that once the cars like the Nero and Kona electrics came around, they were undercutting the price with double the range.
Yeah, let me be clear. The reason why I had mine is because I got in on the Google deal. So I paid no money. I paid some money down. It was like $3,000 down, but then I got the rebate, the California rebate, and for like $2.5 grand. So I didn't put that much money down. And I got to, and then I was only paying $169 a month on a 10,000 mile a year lease, which was for nothing. Really, it was, you know, it was such good value. But it has to be said, I really enjoyed driving it. And right now, I'm looking at the because mine was a 2017 is when the 94. I don't think the 2016s were the same range. No, 2017 is when they must have started. And I have to say, in fact, let me look at the trims. I'm just looking around me, and I'm only looking at the 94 ones without the range extender, which is just a warranty nightmare waiting to happen. John, you're really, being hard on this.
I think what really ends up hurting them, their sales now, is just the fact that you can get the same power plant in the Mini for a fraction of the price too.
That, and I will say that, first of all, bear in mind, the handling of this thing was fantastic. It was a carbon tub. Even on those pizza cutter wheels, it was so much fun to drive. And as a city car, and the layout was phenomenal, so comfortable. It was like driving a greenhouse, a sporty greenhouse. I loved it. I really did. Things that annoyed, road tripping of any description was annoying because it literally had 100 and I don't think you could go more than 100 miles, even 100 miles. I remember I got it from here up in towards Napa, and I came in on fumes, and then you're restricted to 50 kilowatt charging. It could have done with better investment. That has to be said. I'm looking right now at a 2018 in blue with a really high level of trim from the looks of it, just externally. It's not an S. $23,000 with 23,000 miles on the clock now. That's a very expensive runaround when you consider you can get a 500E for, I don't know, less than 10 grand. But I have to say, if I found the right one at the right price, but I'm not spending $400 a month on a runaround when I can have what we've got for 600 or whatever it is. Oh, one piece of news. I finally got my California rebate sorted out. So a check for $2,000 will be arriving with me at some point in I joke you not, given that I put the application in back at the end of April, in just 90 days, I will get a check. So yeah, it's a thing, but that's on its way. I'll end up getting my federal one before. But yeah, at the end of an era, great design. If they were possibly just a little bit too head, but they learned some great lessons, and we'll see those in the i4 and the iX. So we shall see. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I could see if I didn't have to pay California use tax on the acquisition of it. I could see one of those. Maybe if I'm not in, maybe if we need a run around in Austin. I'm still working on Mrs. Regular EV on that one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Help me make this dream come true by making us one of the leading podcasts you turn to. So we have the subscriber numbers so that I don't have to care about buying a car and using it as a write-off. Is that a good reason to subscribe? No, but it's the best one I have today. That's kind of it, Joe. You got anything else to add?
No, I gotta get running soon anyway. So it works that it was a quick week.
Good. Well, in that case, I'll wrap it up with this. You can find Joe at JKEV on YouTube. You can find me at Regular EV Dad. I am a comedian. This is going out today on the 1st of February. And you go to find me on my Instagram at Big Brit John. I'm actually doing a comedy show in VR, which is being streamed on Twitch apparently on Thursday night. You can see me in person on Friday night at the Alameda Comedy Club. I will be closing out their showcase. And you can see me next week in Danville and in Pleasantville. So anyway, somewhere, Danville and Walnut Creek. Anyway, with that, to Joe and his minion, I say, you have yourself a great day.
Take care.
And whatever you do, be safe, subscribe, see you next week.